One of my favorite things to do when you get a new project car is to clean it, because you see all the good stuff and you also see all the super bad stuff about the car. So like you can see all of the edges aren't actually faded like they looked originally. They're all pretty clean. There's a couple rock chips, but we knew that. A couple dings here and there. But something that does suck is I think this is underneath the clear coat that is on this panel. So that's pretty stupid. And I thought this was like tape residue. It's actually clear coat that's been peeled off from tape. I did manage to get off some of like the Sharpie marking that was on this door. There's a little bit of clear coat fade here, but obviously none of that really matters if we're gonna repaint the whole car. But I didn't realize this. These are actually KVD like side skirts, so that's kind of cool. We're gonna go ahead and get the rear of the car jacked up, and we can start putting on some of this rear suspension. These are ISR suspension arms. Again, we're only going to use 4 of these of the 6, and the other 2 we'll have to use once we get BC coils or something. But we did a cost analysis on these, and these seemed like the best bang for our buck because they're better than like the eBay ones, and they're about the same price as the eBay ones. But they're not like Z1 Motorsports or any of the super expensive ones. But these should be fine for us for what we're doing, just mostly street driving, and maybe on occasion going to the track with it. You're gonna have a hernia.
I know.
That's the one. I have a pretty impact, so they don't break bolts loose or plug nuts loose. So we have to use a tire iron to break it loose, and then switch the impact after.
Well, I could have done that.
Yeah.
That's the easy part.
We got the lower control arm off over here, the factory one. And I'm taking the traction arm off now. I think I'm gonna have to loosen this toe arm just so I can, or at least take it off just so I can rotate the whole knuckle this way a bit and then pull the traction arm out. I had to do it on the opposite side. I'm pretty sure there's something bent on the opposite side from when the kid hit something. The coilover on the opposite side is almost touching right here. But on here we got like 2 full fingers in between the coilover and the chassis, so there's gotta be something bent on it, but we're gonna have to figure that out in the future. I'm gonna try and just get it working for right now. And then when we get coilovers, we'll probably have to buy a new knuckle for that side, and then pretty much everything's been replaced at that point, other than subframe, but I highly doubt they fit the subframe. We got all the suspension off of the passenger side, and we're gonna go ahead and start putting the control arms onto the passenger side, but I figured I could show you something that we figured out. I didn't realize that these came with it, or sorry, these came with it. You can see the height differences. These ones are shorter. I think these are for 370Z, and they were already on there, so I kind of just we could not get it into the subframe, and it was pissing me off. But now we put the smaller one on there, and it fits in there perfect. So we're gonna put the small one on. That goes on here. You have to put the traction arm on before you put the lower control arm on, the lower camber arm. So we're gonna go put these on now.
Garage battery.
Huh? This didn't go as planned. So you can see suspension's sunken still quite a bit. This is with a 1-inch wheel spacer on, by the way. And you go to this side with the 1-inch wheel spacer, and it's pretty decent. I mean, for stock wheels, it's close to the thing. Not a crazy amount of camber, but I didn't realize that this upper control arm was the one that was bent. For some reason, I was under the impression that it was the lower control arm. So we ordered upper control arms, and once those get in, I'll go ahead and replace those. And then hopefully we can actually do an alignment on this thing. I don't know how well we can actually adjust the toe because we don't have that toe arm in since we have the shit coilovers. So we're probably gonna have to buy coilovers to throw on this thing. We might just make that into this video, or maybe just throw it into a second video, but either way, I'm gonna wait till we get the other upper control arms. I'll throw those on and we'll see if we can get this camber to be fixed a little bit. getting this thing out was a nightmare, but I'm wondering if this is how it's supposed to be, if it actually was bent and that was causing my issues. We've got this upper control arm in, and as you can see, there's now a good like 2 fingers in between here. That upper control arm has essentially fixed our coilover gap, so I'm pretty positive that this one was bent. We didn't record too much because this has been a pain in the ass. That side has been crashed, so that side took me forever to get the upper control arm on. And then this side's upper control arm, the nut on the ball joint stripped out, and we had to take off the whole knuckle and like put it in a vise to get it up. It's been a nightmare. So much of a nightmare that in that time we have gotten a whole nother set of suspension that we're going to be putting on this car, which is not suspension arms, it is coilovers. So obviously these are VC Racing coilovers, and they're going to be a great like upgrade to the car, considering we have these super coilovers over here. My original plan was to, like we do with other cars when you take coilovers off, is take the shock off and like measure the original height to here. I completely forgot that this is a true coilover setup. So as you can see, like this is the actual shock itself, and the spring is down here as Mary showed you a minute ago. This has the spring over the shock, so this is what they call a true coilover setup. We have everything already put together now. We have the upper control arm, we have the other 2 arms down here, lower control arm and the little traction arm. The only thing we don't have put on here is this, which is a tow arm. This is going to get replaced along with this shock. This has to be replaced because we are deleting that spring since it's a terrible setup. So these are the ISR tow arms that we're going to be using to replace the area that those little springs went into. I just said we delete them. This is how we delete them. We're going to put these on, and should be good. Should be pretty easy. We got all the hopefully annoying work out of the way, and this can basically just go right here, and then we'll take this shock off and put the coilover on, and then it's all just figuring out the heights from there. So we got the top piece in, and now I just gotta put this bottom bolt in, and then we can put the top 2 nuts in at the same time, and then it's basically good. We haven't adjusted the height though, like the ride height of the coilovers at all yet, because we don't really know what they should be at. So we're probably gonna lower it down on how it is now, do the same thing, like do this on the opposite side and see how it is, and then just adjust them both and make them like match properly. We got the other side front coilover on, and I'm on the passenger side front coilover right now. The old ones are off. You can see where they were hitting the control arm the whole time. I'm not really sure why it was hitting the control arm. These ones have, I guess, more of a gap here. They're up to like there. We maxed out the height, so it's as low as they can possibly be. It's not terribly low because these aren't the super low BCs, but it's pretty low. So we'll see how it rides, see how it feels. We might raise it up a little bit depending on what wheels we buy for it. Currently looking at a few different types of brand new wheels because they're kind of the same price as buying used wheels. So we'll see what we'll see what we can, if we get any deals or anything. But for now, we're gonna get this coilover on, and we'll drop it down and see how it drives. We still have to do an alignment on the rear, but the front we're not gonna really be able to do an alignment until we take it to a rack. So see how low it actually is. The jack's stuck. Oh no. There we go. Yeah, it's pretty low. That might be a little too low, actually. Round 2, we raised it like 1 inch to 1.5 inches, so hopefully we can actually get the jack out once we lower it down. That feels way
That
more
looks
comfortable
good.
already. Yeah, that'll be good. The coilovers and suspension are basically done. We have an alignment scheduled for Thursday, so a couple more days. But this thing can't physically get much lower at the moment in the rear. I'll put the 18s back on it, and then we'll get it aligned and start looking at paint and different wheels. We got the alignment on the 350Z, and the steering is still a little shaky. I'm pretty sure these wheels are kind of smoked, but it drives a lot better, that's for sure. It doesn't sound terrible, but you'll hear a scrape here probably. Oh, nope, we're good. Every time we turn, it kind of like the KBD side skirts are like an inch off the ground, so it scrapes really hard. But this is the end of the video. I'm gonna close it out here. We started looking into paint already and looking into different wheels that we can get for this thing. I'm trying to kind of keep it on a budget, but be able to make it look pimpin'. So if you like the video, like it, and see you guys in the next one. Ciao.